Afternoon Express. It is a Thursday. We are celebrating love in the loft. We have got the most gorgeous, gorgeous balloons and decoration. But that's not where we've stopped with the love. We're creating the most decadent, delicious, and perfect gifting options for your loved ones because love is truly in the air. And these decadent Clover Classic red hot jam cookies. Eat them with your partner or wrap them as a special Valentine's Day gift.
Friend, we're trying to create even more nostalgia, like listening to Hisham and Jade. For me, Hisham and Jade, it was like, okay, we are definitely the season of love now.
Yeah.
So what more, what better to have in your arsenal than delicious cookies that you can enjoy any time of the year, but they just represent Valentine's, you know? And this is what these cookies are all about. So it's very simple. What we've done is we've already creamed our Clover Classic fat spread in here. And into this mixture, we've also added some icing sugar. We've also added a bit of vanilla in there, some salt. Obviously, if you want to get the actual grammage and stuff like that, you can just check it on our site. But we've made sure to whip it up and add as much air as we can into it because these are crumbly cookies. You do not want them to be overworked. And that's why we did that step of making sure we mix our Clover Classic fat spread with everything else first so that when we add the other elements, it doesn't get too dry or too hard.
Brilliant. I mean, that Clover Classic fat spread is the fat kind of oily element within it. But another thing that you need to remember is that Clover Classic is an ideal and versatile fat spread that can be used daily for spreading, cooking, and what we're doing today, baking.
Yes.
It contains 7 vitamins and is made with a touch of clover cream for smoother spreadability.
Smoother spreadability, and that's also another reason why we chose to put icing sugar in here because we want these are in essence shortbread cookies. So we want to make sure that there's no granules in there, and that's why we've not used just normal granulated sugar or brown sugar because it will end up being quite a grainy dough, and we don't want that. We want it nice and crumbly, and that's why we're also adding our flour in 3 parts to make sure that we at least the flour is fully incorporated in there, but also so that we don't overmix.
Got you.
You don't want this dough to be too runny. You want it to be nice and firm, in essence to resemble crumb-like texture, and so that's what we're going for. So I'm just going to keep adding these together, and once we've reached the desired consistency, then we're actually going to start rolling them out. So obviously this requires a couple of steps. Let me just show you the type of dough we're going for.
Okay, as you are kind of rolling that out, on my side, I'm on decorating duty, my favorite duty of them all, and it is super simple. We've got some strawberry jam here, but at home you can use any jam that you've got, or even marmalade. You know, spin it, play with it a little bit. And Tumi has already... This one is already put together, but if you were to separate them, they kind of look like this, you know? You pop the one on top of another, and all you do is add the jam.
Friend, you look like you're having so much fun.
It is
this for someone
fun.
special? And Auntie, there's a person who's getting these gifts to after this
There's
show.
Someone special there, and luckily for him, he's got a sweet tooth, so he'll definitely love these. But back to the dough,
Back to the dough. So as you can see, we wanted to make sure that our dough is nice and firm. So a quick trick, once you've made your dough, do not roll it out immediately. Form it into a nice little disc. Put it in the fridge for at least 30 minutes because you want it to be nice and firm. Because another thing with dough, when you're making these kind of cookies, I mean, you look at them, they're holding their shape nicely.
Yes.
This is what you want, and when they bake in the oven as well, you want them to stay the shape. If your dough is too warm and it's not solid, it's basically going to go all over the show.
Oh, no.
So we don't want that because it's got such a high fat content from our Clover Classic fat spread in there. And my friend, now it begins the fun.
Yes.
Now you just shake them into your beautiful little cookies. And if you want to, just to be safe as well, after you've shaped them, put it in the fridge again for another 15, just to make sure that they set. And then you can bake them away. I know some people like their shortbread cookies a little thinner. I like mine nice and thick.
Crunchy.
Yeah, so
I want a nice, generous mouthful when I'm taking a bite. I mean, on this side, again, I've already finished decorating it, and I'm just going to add that icing sugar. That touch of love to me. I love this. And again, it's all about the occasion of Valentine's Day. This is perfect for a treat at home. If you're taking your loved one out for a picnic, this is something that you can try. Create ahead of time. Dumi, the dough, how freezable is it?
Definitely very freezable. So what you can do is you can make this dough ahead of time and then either form them into the cookies and freeze them already as cookies, or freeze the dough, just take it out about 30 minutes before you start using it, but keep it in the fridge. Do not defrost it at room temperature, otherwise it'll get soft. Just keep it in the fridge. Then once it's firm enough to, soft enough to roll out, cut your cookies, put it in the oven, bake them at 180 degrees for 10 to 15 minutes. Obviously, ovens are different, so just keep an eye on them. You don't want them to get too brown, you just want them to be nice and cooked. And that is it, Jonga.
Well, my heart is definitely beating custard, love, and jelly.
Clover's range of margarines and spreads. Classic spread. Mama Bake.
Margie, how do you know what we like?
I know someone who knows.
Spread the Margie love.
Made with love by Clover.